Hello everyone, welcome to our virtual chemistry class. This is Mohammad Asif Iqbal, Senior Teacher, Department of Chemistry, Milestone College. In this class, I am going to discuss with you two of the most important questions from the chapter 7. Before go through the lecture, there are some precautions that all we should follow. We should wash our hands several times a day, stay home, use mask when you go outside, and keep yourself and your family safe from COVID-19. Now student, come back to the point. Creative question number 1, we can see 3 different reactions are mentioned in here. The first reaction is ferric chloride react with stannous chloride and produce ferrous chloride and stannous tetrachloride. The next one is aluminum chloride react with water molecule and produce aluminum hydroxide and hydrochloric acid. In case 3, copper sulfate react with water molecule and produce copper sulfate pentahydrate. Now come to the first question. What is polymerization reaction? Question number 2. Determine the oxidation number of sulfur in the compounds sulfuric acid, sodium sulfate and copper sulfate. Question C. Explain that the oxidation and reduction take place simultaneously in the reaction 1. We can see reaction 1 mentioned in the stream. And the last one is, even though water involved with the reaction of the stream 2 and 3, they are different types of reaction. Explain it. Now I am going to discuss one by one question and answer. Now question number 1a. What is polymerization reaction? The word polymer derived from 2 Greek words, polymer. Poly means many, mer means part. When a large number of molecules of the same compound or different compounds combine together to form a large molecule of heavy molecular mass at high temperature and pressure and at the presence of catalyst is known as polymerization reaction. These types of reaction is happening among the small molecules, and these molecules are connected with each other under huge pressure and temperature. I am going to give you an example. You can see that this is the formula of ethylene. When ethylene put into high temperature and huge pressure, you can see the temperature is 200 degrees Celsius and the pressure is 1200 atmospheric pressure. At the presence of oxygen, these small molecule combined with each other and form a molecule which has huge molecular mass and it's a very large molecule. This molecule is known as polythene, which we use in our everyday life. Now come to the question number B, and this question is determine the oxidation number of sulfur in the compounds sulfuric acid, sodium sulfate and copper sulfate. Before determining the oxidation number of 3 different compounds, first we need to know what is oxidation number. The oxidation number is a number which indicate the total number of electron which donated received by the atoms or ions are known as its oxidation number. Now we are going to find out the oxidation number of sulfur in these 3 compounds. First one is sulfuric acid, H2SO4. Now let's consider the oxidation number of sulfur is equal to X. Now the oxidation number of hydrogen we know is +1 and the oxidation number of oxygen is -2. Now we are going to calculate the oxidation number of sulfur. As sulfuric acid is a compound, we know the total oxidation number of a compound is 0. Therefore, the oxidation number of hydrogen is +1. We know there are 2 hydrogen. That's why we multiply +1 into 2 plus the oxidation number of sulfur is X, which we consider, and the oxidation number of oxygen, which is non-metal, is -2, and the total number of oxygen present in sulfuric acid is 4. And we know as sulfuric acid is a compound, that's why the total oxidation number of sulfuric acid is 0. Now we are going to calculate one by one. 2 plus X minus 8 is equal to 0, or X minus 6 is equal to 0, or X is equal to +6. Now we can find that the oxidation number of sulfur in sulfuric acid is +6. Now come to the next one, sodium sulfate. Once again, let's consider the oxidation number of sulfur is equal to X. The oxidation number of sodium, we know sodium is a metal, therefore the oxidation number of metal must be +1 plus, and we know the oxidation number of sodium is +1. And the next one is oxygen. As oxygen is a non-metal, that's why its oxidation number will be negative. Now come to the point. As sodium sulfate is a compound, that's why the total oxidation number of this compound will be 0. Now +1 multiply 2, because there are 2 sodium present in sodium sulfate, plus X, which we consider the oxidation number of sulfur, and -2 multiply 4 is equal to 0. Now 2 plus X minus 8 is equal to 0, or X minus 6 is equal to 0, or X is equal to +6. In this case, the oxidation number of sulfur also +6. And we are going to the last one, which is copper sulfate. In similar way, let's consider the oxidation number of sulfur is equal to X, the oxidation number of copper. We know copper is a metal, that's why its oxidation number must be positive, and that is +2, and the oxidation number of oxygen is equal to -2. Similar way, copper is +2 plus X plus the oxidation number of oxygen is -2, and the total number of oxygen present in this compound is +4, is 4. Okay students, now we can see the oxidation number of sulfur is +6 also in this case. Now from this 3 different compound, we find out the oxidation number of sulfur is +6. Now question number C. Explain that the oxidation and the reduction take place simultaneously in the reaction 1 mentioned in the stream. So what is the reaction mentioned in the stream? Ferric chloride react with stannous chloride and produce ferrous chloride and stannous tetrachloride. Before discussing the oxidation reduction, we must know what is oxidation and reduction, or what is redox reaction. The reaction in which electron exchange take place. That means the chemical substance which take part in this reaction will change their oxidation number. If we observe this reaction, we can see before the reaction the oxidation number of iron was +3 and the oxidation number of stannous was +2. After the reaction, the oxidation number become +2 of iron and the oxidation number of stannous become +4. From this reaction, we can observe that the oxidation number of the chemical substance changes. Now we must know what is oxidation and what is reduction. The reaction in which any chemical substance donate electron are known as oxidation reaction. In this case, stannous ion donate 2 electrons and become the charge which charge number is +4. On the other hand, what is reduction reaction? The reaction in which any chemical substance receive electron. In this case, ferric ion received 2 electron and become ferrous ion. So we can see oxidation and reduction take place in this reaction. Now, how we can explain that oxidation and reduction take place simultaneously? The oxidation reaction can only occur when 2 chemical substances exchange their electron. In this case, stannous ion donate 2 electrons and ferric ion receive 2 electrons. From here we can see a chemical substance only can donate electron when another chemical substance agree to receive electron. On the other hand, a chemical substance can receive electron when another chemical substance donate electron. Therefore, we can say electron donation and electron receiving take place. Therefore, oxidation reduction is a simultaneous process, and same thing happened in this particular reaction. From the reaction 2 mentioned in the stream, we can observe that aluminum chloride react with water and produce aluminum hydroxide and hydrochloric acid. This is one kind of hydrolysis reaction. So, what is hydrolysis reaction? The word hydrolysis derived from ancient Greek word, which means water unbind. Water unbind. The reaction in which water as a reactant react with other compounds and rupture or unbind one or two chemical bonds to produce some new compounds is called hydrolysis reaction. So this thing happened in this reaction. If we segregated this reaction in two different parts, we can observe that aluminum chloride divided in two parts, aluminum and chloride ion. On the other hand, water molecule divide on two part. One is hydroxyl ion, another is hydrogen ion, and this unbind water react with aluminum chloride and produce aluminum hydroxide and hydrochloric acid, and that's why this reaction is known as hydrolysis reaction. On the other hand, from the reaction 3 mentioned in the stream, we can see copper sulfate added with 5 molecules of water and produce copper sulfate pentahydrate. The another name of this compound is blue vitriol. These types of reaction is known as hydration reaction. Before go through the hydration reaction, we must know what is hydrated mean. To hydrated mean is to add or absorb water. The hydration, the word which hydration used by French scientists first time, and the definition of hydration reaction is one or more molecules of water combined with ionic compounds. Here copper sulfate is an ionic compound during formation of crystal lattice. This kinds of reaction is called hydration reaction. Now we can see a clear difference between hydrolysis and hydration reaction. In hydrolysis reaction, water molecule unbind and also react with other compound and produce completely different two products. On the other hand, in hydration reaction, water molecule absorbed during formation of crystal lattice. In here, water molecule does not change its form. So these two types of reaction cannot be same. Now, creative question number 2. We can see a reaction is provided. Aluminum hydroxide react with hydrogen chloride and produce aluminum chloride and water. And the second part, iron and copper, two elements are given. Now, the question number A. Question A. What is the isomerization reaction? Question B. Write down the difference between hydrolysis and precipitation reaction. Question C. From the STEM 2, between iron and copper, why iron is being eroded while remaining into the free air but copper does not? And question D. Explain the significance of the reaction in the STEM 1 in our daily life. Now come to the first question. What is isomerization reaction? Before go through the isomerization reaction, we must know what are the isomers. The word isomer derived from two Greek words, isos, meros, that means equal parts. Isomers are the chemical compounds that have the same parts but nonetheless not the same. That means two compounds having same molecular formula, but due to the difference of their structure and formula, they have many difference in their properties. Now, what is isomerization reaction? A chemical reaction in which atoms in a molecule rearrange themselves to form one isomer from another isomer is called isomerization reaction. For instance, ammonium cyanate turn into urea after applying heat. Ammonium cyanate is an inorganic compound and turn into urea, which is an organic compound. In these both cases, the total number of nitrogen, hydrogen, oxygen and carbons are equal, but due to the different rearrangement, due to their different structural formula, their physical and chemical properties are different. Question number 2B. Write down the difference between hydrolysis and precipitation reaction. Now, I am going to write down the hydrolysis and precipitation reaction below. The first one, precipitation reaction, you can see, and next one is hydrolysis reaction. Now, what is precipitation reaction? The reaction in which the produced compound settles at the bottom of the container as precipitation. And hydrolysis reaction, the chemical reaction in which water as a reactant reacts with other compounds and produce some new compounds. In precipitation reaction, the presence of water is not mandatory. On the other hand, the presence of water in hydrolysis reaction is mandatory. Precipitation must occur. Precipitation can be occur. Example: sodium chloride react with silver nitrate and produce silver chloride and sodium nitrate. Silver chloride is precipitated at the bottom of the container. Silicon tetrachloride react with water molecule and produce silicon tetrahydroxide and hydrochloric acid. Now, question 2C. From the STEM 2, between iron and copper, why iron is being eroded while remain into the free air but copper does not? Now, the answer is, when we keep iron exposed in open air, it undergoes reaction with oxygen and water vapor and produce rust. You can see the formula of rust. Since the rust of iron is fragile, fragile means which can easily break down, in nature oxygen and water vapor from air pass through it and continue to erode the iron. On the other hand, when copper remained outside, it produced copper oxide at the presence of air. This layer acts to prevent the air to come in direct contact with copper and no more reaction take place. Thus, the decay of copper is prevented. Now, from this answer, we can find two things. Number one, the rust which is created outside the iron due to the interaction with oxygen and water vapor is fragile in nature. Therefore, outside oxygen and air can easily penetrate inside iron, and consequently in the long period of time iron is eroded. On the other hand, the copper oxide which produce outside layer of the copper act as a shield of the copper metal, which prevent excess amount of oxygen and water vapor to enter inside, and thus the copper remain intact in a long period of time. Question 2D. Explain the significance of the reaction in the STEM 1 in our daily life. And the reaction is aluminum hydroxide react with hydrochloric acid and produce aluminum chloride and water. This is a neutralization reaction. So, what is neutralization reaction? The reaction in which acid and base react with each other and produce salt and water. In this case, this is happening. Hydrochloric acid, this is an acid, and aluminum hydroxide is a base which react with each other and produce aluminum chloride and water. Now, the significance of this reaction is immense. There are three contexts where we can observe this reaction happening. Number one, in digestion, in dental care, and in agriculture. We know human stomach produce a lot of hydrochloric acid, but when the production of hydrochloric acid is excess amount, then it cause different types of problem. It produce huge amount of gas and different types of stomach pain. And that case, doctor prescribe antacid. Antacid contain aluminum hydroxide and magnesium hydroxide, and these two compounds react with excess amount of hydrochloric acid and produce aluminum chloride, magnesium chloride and water, which are neutral compound, and we relieve from different types of stomach pain. In dental care, when we eat different types of sweet, it started to change its chemical formula by the reaction of the bacteria inside our mouth, and which cause different types of organic acid production, and this acid start to decay the enamel of the tooth. Now, the toothpaste which we use contain base, and this base neutralize the organic acid and our tooth remained intact. And in the third case, in agriculture, plant used to take different types of minerals, for example magnesium, potassium, calcium from the soil, and which cause the infertility of the soil and the acidity of the soil increase significantly. To neutralize this problem, we add lime, which is calcium oxide, and that is instantly neutralize the excess amount of acid in soil, and in the long run the fertility of the soil come back. So these are the three contexts where we explain the neutralization reaction and the importance of neutralization reaction. Thank you for being present in this class, and that is the end of this class.